Are you wondering how you can create a retro 70s background? If your answer is yes, then you're in the right place. Hi there everyone, my name is Andrei Marius. I've been working in Illustrator for over 10 years, and in this Envato Tuts Plus tutorial I'll put my experience to use as I'll show you step by step how you can create two different types of retro 70s backgrounds using Adobe Illustrator. Before we begin, make sure to check out Envato Elements, where with a simple subscription you can get unlimited access to millions of creative digital assets such as music, graphics, including retro backgrounds, photos, fonts, and many more. You can subscribe right now with the link in the description. Let's move to Illustrator to create a new document. Select pixels from this drop-down menu, set the width and the height to 850 pixels. Make sure that the color mode is set to RGB and the resolution to 72 pixels per inch, and then you can click this button to create your new document. Press Ctrl and 0 to fit the artboard on your entire screen. Go to Window in the menu bar. First of all, make sure that the control panel is active and then open all the panels that have this check mark. Once you're done, go to View and enable the grid. Go again to View and enable the Snap to Grid feature. And for this tutorial, you need a grid line every 5 pixels. So let's go to Edit, Preferences, Guides and Grid. Just enter 5 in this grid line every box. Make sure that the subdivisions are set to 1 and then click OK to apply the changes. Now that you're set, let's start by selecting the rectangle tool from your toolbar. Select the stroke and remove the color. Double click the fill color and replace it with 220, 194 and 159. And now just click on your artboard to create an 85 pixel square. Click OK to create this new shape. You can press Ctrl and plus to zoom in on this shape. And let's switch to the ellipse tool. Remember to hold down the Shift key as you click and drag to easily create a perfect circle. Keep in mind that you can have a look inside the info panel to know exactly when you get to 170 pixels. Release the mouse button to create this new shape. Select the fill and replace the color with 236, 173 and 16. Switch to the selection tool and move this circle on top of your square like this. Now select your square, press Ctrl C and then Ctrl F to add a copy in front. Hold down the Shift key to select your copy along with the circle. Click the intersect button from the Pathfinder panel. Now select both of these shapes, hold down the Alt key and click and drag to add copies 85 pixels to the right. Focus on the bounding box, hold down the Shift key and rotate your copies 90 degrees to the left. Now select just this shape, select the fill and replace the color with 218, 88 and 66. Select this square, use the eyedropper tool icon to easily fill your selected shape with this yellow. You can press the V hotkey to quickly reselect the selection tool, select all your shapes. Again, hold down the Alt key to easily drag copies 85 pixels down like this. Select just these two shapes and rotate them 180 degrees. Move to the next two shapes and again rotate them 180 degrees. Select just this shape and use again the eyedropper tool icon to fill your selected shape with this color. Switch back to the selection tool. Use it to select these two shapes and set the fill color to 114, 154 and 145. Select this yellow shape and replace the yellow with 56, 106 and 131. And now you can select all of these shapes. First of all, click this button to save all the colors that are used to fill your shapes. Press Ctrl and G to group your selected shapes. Press Ctrl and 0 to zoom back on your entire artboard. Make sure that the alignment is set to artboard and then click these two buttons to easily move your group in the top left corner of the artboard. And then go to Effect, Distort and Transform and Transform. Increase the number of copies to 4. Set the Move Horizontal slider to 170 pixels. Click OK to apply this effect, and let's apply a second one. Again, increase the number of copies to 4, but this time set the Move Vertical slider to 170 pixels. Click OK to apply this second effect, and this will be your first 70s background. Move to the Layers panel to turn off the visibility of this layer. Let's add a new one and keep it selected, and switch to the Line Segment tool from your toolbar. Start by pressing Shift and X to easily swap the fill and stroke color settings. Select the stroke and increase the weight to 20 points. Replace the color with your saved red, and then hold down the Shift key to easily create a 240 horizontal path like this. Before we continue, let's change the color of this layer to black, and then press Ctrl and plus to zoom in on this line. Switch to the Selection tool, hold down the Alt key and drag a copy of this line 20 pixels down like this. Make sure that the stroke is still selected and replace the color with your saved yellow. Return to your line and drag a new copy 20 pixels below it. Replace the stroke color with this one. Add a new copy and replace the stroke color with 42, 129 and 138. And let's add one more line and replace the stroke color with this one. Once you're done, select all of these lines and drag copies 100 pixels down like this. Deselect all of your lines and go to Effect, Distort and Transform and Zigzag. First of all, make sure that you have these two boxes checked. Increase the size to 20 pixels and decrease the ridges to 3. Click OK to apply this effect, and let's continue with the rectangle tool. Use it to create a 120 by 100 pixels shape. Select the stroke and remove the color. Make sure that you don't have a color set for the fill. Move to the Layers panel and let's drag this rectangle below all your lines. And then let's move it in this exact location. Now select this rectangle along with your lines and simply drag it inside the swatches panel to save it as a pattern. Now that you've got your pattern, you can delete these shapes. Press Ctrl and 0 to zoom back on your entire artboard. Reselect the rectangle tool from your toolbar and use it to create a shape that covers your entire artboard. Again, you can click these two buttons to easily center your shape. Select the fill and simply apply your pattern. This is your second 70s background. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to hit that like button as it lets me know that I did a good job. Subscribe if you aren't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon to be notified of any new tutorials. I'm Andre Marius, and I'll see you in the next video.